Well, there is a woman over the weekend who took it upon herself to research my family history in hopes of digging up some kind of a gotcha moment, a gotcha angle to validate illegal immigration and open borders. And what she found was really shocking, guys. She found that my family who came here in the 1800s from Norway and Germany, that they spoke Norwegian and German. Okay. And really what she did is prove that my family came here.
Daytime TV has always thrived on drama, but some moments demand that voices be heard. One such instance was the heated clash between conservative commentator Tomi Lahren and The View co-host Sunny Hoon. What began as a debate over immigration laws quickly spiraled into a fiery confrontation over ancestry, hypocrisy, and the very definition of being American.
That immigrants come over here and they don't know anything and they're dragging us down because we all come from immigrants, including you, Tomi Lahren. She talks about low skills. What exactly are her skills? Her second great-grandmother had been here for 10 years, yet spoke no English. Oh my gosh. 1930 census says Tommy's 3 times great-grandmother had been here for 41 years and still spoke German. She didn't speak English.
Before we dive into the drama, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you never miss the latest Hollywood rumors and trending topics. Now, Tomi Lahren has built a reputation on controversy, especially with her unapologetic stance on immigration. She's widely known for championing merit-based immigration, and it was almost inevitable that she would clash with someone like Sunny Hostin. Sunny, who often pushes back against conservative talking points and argues for a more compassionate approach to immigration, took the debate in an unexpected direction. Armed with an Ancestry.com search, she pointed out that Lahren's own ancestors, who came to the U.S. from Norway and Germany in the 1800s, were illiterate for generations. The implication that Lahren's rigid stance on modern immigration was hypocritical. But in classic fashion, Lahren didn't back down. What could have been a thoughtful policy debate instead erupted into an emotional showdown, more circus than conversation.
Well, there is a woman over the weekend who took it upon herself to research my family history in hopes of digging up some kind of a gotcha moment, a gotcha angle to validate illegal immigration and open borders. And what she found was really shocking, guys. She found that my family who came here in the 1800s from Norway and Germany, that they spoke Norwegian and German. Okay. And really what she did is prove that my family came here
Lahren didn't shy away from the personal jab. Instead, she turned it into fuel, using the moment to restate her convictions. She argued that her ancestors lived law-abiding lives without relying on government handouts, and that this distinction highlights the difference between immigration in the past and immigration today. To her credit, she stayed composed under fire. But when Hostin invoked her family history, it was clear this debate had shifted from policy into something far more personal. For some, Hostin's call-out was a bold move that exposed hypocrisy. For others, it was a cheap shot, one that distracted from the real issue, how to solve modern immigration challenges.
For them to go that deep in your background, you have gotten under their skin to a level I didn't think was possible. What is it about you that bothers them so much?
Well, it's not just me, it's anybody who advocates for merit-based immigration or has an issue with open borders. And again, just like you said, they don't seem to understand that we, on the right, believe.
What started as a debate over ancestry quickly grew into a larger dispute. Can immigration in the 19th century really be compared to immigration today? At first, the comparison sounded reasonable. Both involved people chasing opportunity in a new land. But as Lahren argued, the 1800s were a different world. Back then, immigrants often arrived unchecked, claiming land and building lives in a largely unregulated system. Today, with modern welfare programs, national security concerns, and strict regulations, the picture is far more complicated. That became the focal point of their fiery exchange. Hoon countered by pointing to Lahren's own ancestors, arguing that assimilation has always been a slow, messy process. But Lahren spun that same fact into her defense, insisting her family played by the rules and contributed without expecting handouts, a distinction she sees as vital in the immigration debate today.
I do believe that the immigration crisis of today is apples to oranges from what it was in the 1800s when immigrants came to this country legally, were documented, worked for themselves, asked for nothing, and built a life and a family. That has nothing to do with the illegal immigration crisis of today that we must deal with.
But don't think this was just a dry policy spat. When Hoon dragged Laren's great-great-grandmother into the mix, the debate turned personal and explosive. This wasn't just about immigration anymore. It was a swipe at Laren's character, painting her as hypocritical and untrustworthy. It's one thing to spar over policy. It's another to weaponize someone's family tree. Still, Lauren didn't flinch. Instead, she flipped the moment on its head, joking about Hoon's sudden career in genealogy and using the jab to fire up her supporters. Rather than sulk, she turned the attack into fuel. The fallout reactions online were instant and divided. To some, Hoon's ancestry research looked like a desperate low blow meant to undermine her opponent. To others, it was a clever way to spotlight hypocrisy. Either way, the clash left social media ablaze and made the debate one no one could ignore.
I lost my job at a conservative network because I said I was pro-choice. That's a big no-no. It was a big no-no. You know, I offended the community. I went on The View and I said, just a point a feeling that I've had for a long time. I'm very limited government. Like, that's just me. I'm not pro-abortion. I'm just very limited government. That's my perspective on a lot of things. And I lost my job at a conservative network for that.
How did you know you lost your job? Like, what did that look like? So you go on The View, you say this, and then what happened?
Then they told me, don't come back on Monday to do your show. You're suspended indefinitely. That's how it was.
Were you shocked? Were you like, oh, this makes sense?
No, I was shocked. And that's why the lawsuit ensued. I have a view that some conservatives still to this day take a real issue with, and they tell me I'm not a real conservative or this or that. It's on both sides.
The clash left The View in a tricky position. On one hand, Hostin's jab resonated with viewers who agreed with her broader point. On the other, it stirred backlash about the show's tone, blurring the line between fiery debate and outright insult. Once the dust settled and the topic returned to immigration policy itself, Lauren clarified her stance. Her fight isn't against immigrants, but against breaking the law. She stressed the distinction between legal immigrants who follow the process and those who cross the border illegally, a nuance she argued is too often lost in political shouting matches. Hostin, for her part, defended the Ancestry attack, saying it underscored the challenges immigrants have always faced, but by anchoring her argument so heavily on Lauren's family tree, she may have handed Lauren the advantage. What was meant as a dig turned into a rallying point, allowing Lauren to demonstrate composure and debating skill in the face of a personal hit. Beyond policy, this fiery exchange was a snapshot of America's cultural divide. On one side are those who see immigration as central to the nation's identity, pushing for compassion and inclusivity. On the other are voices calling for stricter enforcement and a merit-based system that rewards independence. In the end, the moment wasn't just about two women clashing on daytime TV. It was a mirror of the national debate itself.
Provide them with DNA, 23andMe, because I cannot believe the detail on your background that they were able to get.
Well, I don't have to. She did all the research for me, so I'm sure my family is very
What about
appreciative.
Joy saying that, what are your skills? If it's beyond research, it is personal. It is mean.
Well, of course, this is classical Joy Behar, but I would like to ask Joy Behar what her skills are, because perhaps we could swap stories. I know I watch Joy, and she seems like a highly skilled lady, but for her to attack me, that's really interesting. Those in glass houses should not...
The irony, what's almost poetic, is that both Hostin and Wren actually share more common ground than the sparks suggest. Each values the contributions immigrants have made to America. Each stresses the importance of cultural assimilation and integration, and each, in their own way, believes they're defending the future of the country. But in the high-stakes environment of live television, those similarities get lost. Instead, what shines through is how deeply personal politics has become. When debates shift from policies to people, the drama feels sharper and the stakes feel higher. One thing's certain, this argument isn't over. Whether you side with Lauren or Hostin, the clash proves daytime television still has the power to ignite national conversation. So what do you think? Is it fair game to drag someone's personal history into a political debate, or was this crossing the line? Either way, genealogy has never been this controversial. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.